Okay, imagine this for a second. A future where those plants in your garden, the ones just sitting there looking green, they're not just cleaning the air, they're actually powering entire blockchain networks. Sounds a bit like science fiction, doesn't it? Maybe. But honestly, it's maybe not quite as far-fetched as it sounds right off the bat. Today we're doing a deep dive into something pretty fascinating. It's this intersection where bioenergy meets Web3. And our mission really is to explore how living plants could, maybe one day, genuinely help power blockchain infrastructure. We want you to get a quick handle on this whole innovative idea. Okay, so let's try and unpack this a bit. When we talk about plants generating electricity, how does that actually work? Like, what's the basic science there?
Right. Well, it really comes down to this thing called Plant Microbial Fuel Cell technology. PMFCs, basically. Essentially, you've got plant roots, right?
Right.
They grow, they interact with all the tiny microorganisms that are naturally in the soil. And as they do that, they release these organic compounds. The microorganisms then kind of munch on those compounds, break them down. And in that process, they release electrons.
Electrons, okay.
Yeah. And what's really cool is we can then harvest those electrons. We would basically stick electrodes into the ground and, well, capture that electrical current. That it's important to get the scale right here.
Yeah.
We're definitely not talking about plugging your house into a potted fern or generating megawatts. The output from just one plant is pretty small. Think microwatts, maybe milliwatts.
Okay.
So yeah, not massive amounts of power, but, and this is key, it's consistent.
Ah, right. And that's where it gets really interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because that small, maybe limited energy output, it meets this other trend that's happening. Blockchain networks are actually getting way more energy efficient, especially now with proof of stake becoming so common and all these other lightweight consensus methods. They just sip energy compared to the old ways.
That's precisely the point. And this dynamic, it throws up a really critical question for you listening in. Could we actually harness this sort of continuous low-level plant energy, but harness it specifically to power micronodes?
Micronodes, okay, like for what?
Well, think about it maybe for running sidechains or powering potentially millions, billions of IoP devices scattered everywhere. Or even, these regenerative DAOs that are being built on blockchains that need hardly any energy at all. It shifts the game from needing huge power sources to using smart, distributed, tiny bits of energy.
And this isn't just like a wild idea somebody dreamed up.
No, not at all.
There are actual examples out there already, right, showing this kind of thing works.
Definitely. Scientists over in the Netherlands, for example, they've already built streetlights powered entirely by plants, living plants.
Streetlights, wow.
Yeah. And if you look towards Southeast Asia, there are researchers who are tapping into whole rice paddy fields. They're basically turning these living wet ecosystems into, well, electricity sorts.
Okay, so if you can power a streetlight from some plants or get electricity from a whole field, then why not a blockchain node, maybe running off a greenhouse somewhere, or, like you said, a botanical garden?
Right. And this is where we really need to connect the dots. Let's zoom out with us for a second here. Just picture it. Entire botanical gardens, they're not just pretty places to visit. They become these sort of silent green digital hubs. They're quietly verifying blockchain transactions in the background. They're soaking up CRO, and they are literally actively part of the decentralized internet. The potential for transformation here, it's pretty immense when you stop and think about it. In that kind of future, you wouldn't just plant trees to, say, offset your carbon footprint, which is great, obviously, but you'd also be planting them to generate power. Real power for the digital world. And this could lead to a whole new model, maybe something like grow to earn.
Grow to earn.
Yeah, imagine that. A total shift in how we think about ecological incentives. What if planting a tree literally turns it into a micronode on a network?
Okay.
And then you, the planter or caretaker, you get rewarded, maybe in tokens, based directly on the clean energy your specific tree is producing and feeding into the system.
Yeah.
It's trying to blend that ecological restoration work with, real economic value in a completely new way.
That kind of vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really does seem to merge blockchain, sustainability, regenerative thinking. It connects them in a way that honestly could get environmentalists and even the hardcore crypto degens, as they say, actually excited together.
It's compelling, isn't it?
It really is. It bridges these worlds that often seem pretty far apart. But okay, let's be realistic for a moment. What are the main roadblocks? Why aren't we doing this everywhere already?
Yeah, that's the important question, right? What's the holdup? Because the underlying science, it's solid. We know it works, and we're seeing these applications start to emerge. But the big hurdles, They're not just about the raw power output being small. We kind of know how to work with that.
Okay.
It's more about things like, how do you efficiently store this energy? It's low level, it might be intermittent depending on the plant and conditions. How do you regulate it, especially if you want to scale it up?
By scaling.
And crucially, making it cost effective. How does it stack up against the power infrastructure we already have everywhere? We need some more breakthroughs in like microenergy management, better integration technologies.
Makes sense.
But, the progress in these areas is happening really fast. It feels like it's coming.
And, well, when it does arrive, you might actually find yourself in a world where every leaf could be part of a ledger. And the future of finance, maybe the future of the internet, is quite literally photosynthetic. So thinking about all this, what really stands out to you about a future where nature is actually powering our digital world? And maybe how might that big shift change how we relate to technology and how we relate to the environment itself? Definitely something to think about. We'd encourage you to keep exploring these kinds of emerging ideas because the future, well, it's growing, you could say, quite literally right under our feet.